Leftist propaganda is now enforced in every single mainstream media source in the United States. The reason that the left, goes and promotes fake news from the get-go is because there are many independent news media outlets on the internet itself that promote better news and actually do way better as the ratings show. Sites like YouTube have way more private, news people and media casters that make a lot more money than, believe it or not, CNN would make in a day because of the ratings and how down they are. For example, another website, Infowars.com, has been suspended from YouTube entirely for quote-unquote having right-wing views, but still pushes about $20 million of revenue a year. Obviously, it's incomparable to what CNN or Fox News pulls in, but yet a private news media outlet that gets banned on YouTube and every single social media platform still pulls in 20 million of the mainstream media's revenue. That's pretty crazy, and honestly, that's very interesting. However, what's very depleting is the fact that these sites get banned. Recently, a YouTuber by the name of Leafyus here has been banned for harassment and bullying. Now, not necessarily, for doing nothing. He has done harassment, bullying, but in a very comedic form. And most importantly, he teaches stocks on YouTube. YouTube banned him for harassment and bullying, but instantaneously, nothing was warned of this ban. And it tells you how Western civilization and our freedoms, especially here in the United States, are under attack. People want to censor us. People want to take everyone down only if it coincides or goes against people's beliefs. This is what the left is doing. The left is banning people based on what they believe in and what the other side disagrees with. And liberals will tell you this: well, it's a private company, so they should get banned based on their community guidelines. Well, isn't it ironic that liberals are now letting private organizations or even corporations give themselves their own rules, but they are so for protectionism? They always say, well, huge corporations, they need to be put on hold. We have to implement heavy ways of protecting and adding protectionism literally. But yet, when somebody speaks their mind on a social media platform and it goes against their beliefs, the protectionism is honestly it's all relieved, it's all gone, and you can go ahead and ban them because you have your own rules. This is so hypocritical and it's unconstitutional. And protectionism is something that we need in companies. And yet, when the left sees this opportunity as a way of saying it's a private company, they automatically go against everything that they say about implementing protectionism in the first place. So which side is it? Pick a side. Do you want protectionism, or do you want private organizations to control themselves? Western civilization, a perfect idea and display of what life should look like moving forward, is now under attack. Some examples of, attacking the American people, its government, and a lot of our ideals comes first with the attacks of President Donald Trump. They will go after him, call him a racist, call him a dictator, while also self-righteously promoting people like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, two people that want to impose more restrictions and take away your freedom, quite literally. Joe Biden wants to implement a mask mandate for 3 months, and he will arrest you if you do not wear it, even basically to go outside of your own home. Democrats argue that this is to give back your freedoms even quicker, but it completely neglects the fact that you have no freedoms to begin with when you can't even go outside without wearing a mask. Another thing that they are doing is appointing a person by the name of Kamala Harris as vice president. Kamala Harris locked up people and extended their sentences for things that liberals disagree with, such as, first, financing and creating very long prison sentences for something like holding drugs. Kamala Harris has locked up people for extensive amount of years based on them holding drugs. But they will argue that Donald Trump is very strict on people who don't commit crimes. But yet the vice presidential nominee has put more people behind bars than you could imagine. As a district attorney for California's Department of the North, or in Oakland/San Francisco area, they have had over 500 cases. And these 500 cases lock up people for things that they should not have been locked up for that long. Very interesting, very hypocritical, and what is that like? Locking up people for extensive amounts of time. Ironically, isn't it, that people in New York, such as de Blasio, release people from prisons and then crime goes up. And then at the same time, they have a nominee that locks up people for extensive periods of time. Two very different things, right? But for the same party. It's constant flip-flopping like this. That is why the American people do not trust our two parties. The Democrats primarily, they constantly flip, they constantly say something different that appeals to the demographic. It's completely illogical, and it is based on complete lies. Another thing that quote-unquote Biden and Harris want to do that is quote-unquote liberal, when it is actually something that a dictator would do, which is what they call Trump, of course, they would come for your quote-unquote assault rifles. Which makes sense, because nobody needs high-powered, fully automatic machine rifles, don't they? Which is ironic too, because they are already illegal in most areas of the country. However, they want to ban quote-unquote assault rifles. Assault rifles that shoot semi-automatic firing squads, just like pistols, which they do not want to ban because, well, assault rifles look scarier. They give the idea that it's an assault rifle when it's really just a semi-automatic weapon that looks like something that is fully automatic. You have to understand the internals of it. You cannot simply assume it's an assault rifle by just looking at it. It has different components and it uses completely different materials than that of an actual assault rifle. These people don't even know what they are talking about, yet they pledge to take your property because it's quote-unquote violent when you're just a peaceful human being with a gun at home used for protection and for weekend fun, for Christ's sake. This is what is going to happen. This is what is trying to be done. And it's un-American, and it's unconstitutional. Surveillance is another very important factor. As we know, surveillance by the NSA or in the United States of America was exposed back in 2013. Now, surveillance wants to be expanded, and this is public. And yet, liberals, or, well, I like to call them the left, because liberals aren't left, they all agree that more security should be mandated. Why? You know who else does this social security thing? Communist China, another very, very important factor of who did this extensive security search, and who obviously had social hierarchies implemented through their people. You had Soviet Russia, these communist governments that spy on you because if you think differently, it's a crime, and then you go away and they don't know about you. Nobody knows what happened to you. Everyone forgets you existed. Your history is depleted. TikTok was proven as a Chinese scapegoat for tracking and surveillance done by the Chinese government themselves. As it says, unquote, in its private policy, TikTok lists that it collects usage information, IP addresses, a user's mobile carrier, unique device identifiers, keystroke patterns, and location data. Web developers Talal Hajbakri and Tami Misk claim that allowing videos and other content being shared by the app's users through the HTTP puts the user's data privacy at risk. So why is it a push for this app to remain with this extensive Chinese overlook? Because it discredits Trump. The whole point of Trump derangement syndrome is to attack him when he's trying to help you. You realize that with this research being done on people's apps, on people's phones, our information gets stolen, and quite effectively, China becomes more powerful and more prone to do things like this when it is not contained. This means you're going to be surveillanced more often by foreign powers. Un-American. You do not want to be surveilled, period. By our own government, you don't want to be. That's even worse, I'm pretty sure. But the Chinese, a country that imprisons people for their ideology, for what they look, for what they say, and has a social system where jaywalking makes you ineligible to go on a bus, is who is going to track you if this isn't contained. One more thing. What relates to Western civilization as a whole is architecture. Trump recently, or at least a couple months past, has passed a executive order demanding that all new governmental buildings be built old-fashioned style or Victorian, with columns and things that look as Roman as Greek as possible. Now, people have called him racist for this because the momentum of this looks like white people built these, and that automatically discredits every other minority in this country. But I disagree. The point of this is to bring awareness to where Western civilization started. It's a point of showing you history of the wonders that Western civilization has brought to our country and others in the West. It's not racist. It is just self-awareness. And quite frankly, nobody wants to see behemoth towers made of glass over beautiful architecture that was created by man and to make man better. So I want to say thank you for watching, everybody. The world is yours. Do not let people control your brain, and don't let up on what you believe in. I did. Believe me, it's a mess. It controls you and you change, and you don't want to do that. When you're involved with yourself, when you're involved with what you want to read, what you truly want to do, use your brain and manufacture your own ideas too, because that's the point of the United States of America, to be free and to be creative. So enjoy it while we still have it, and don't get cucked into believing that you're some sort of racist when you're really just another patriot. I want to say thank you for everybody. It's been a long ride. I'm finally back. School has began today, and I got to get started very soon in another class. So right now I'm going to go do some cleaning and experiment. And right now though, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to go have a nice day, eat some lunch, and I will see you tomorrow. So hey, thank you so much for watching, and have an excellent day. I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Have an excellent, excellent day. Remember, do not tread on me. Have a nice day. Please help me and follow me on Twitter, where all posts are going to be updated daily, retweets, and of course my own tweets, and the tweet regarding the video that I will be posting for the day that I decide to post.